Hello again. Welcome to a training video of the report filters option in PayPak Professional 4.0 and other GreyNote software products. The filters option is part of the report screen for which there's another video which in general explains how the reporting functions work. This particular video takes a more in-depth look at the filtering options. So let's get started by logging in so that you can see how it works. Okay, so here's the main menu. If you go to Reports and Standard Reports, we get the Reports screen. And this column here is the Filter column, which will have some little indicators of how it can be used or when it can be used. Whenever you see NA in this column, which that means that the report does not have a filter option or it's a form report. Now, there are two sorts of reports that you will get from this list. There's list reports, such as the accounts report here, which allows you to put filter values, to enter filter values in this cell and double click to print the report. I'm not going to use any filter values right now. I'm just going to print the report, and there we've got 19 accounts in that list. I'm going to close this now. If I wanted to put a filter, I would double click here and I would say, well, the account description includes wages. Save it, apply it, and when I double click now, that's my filter applied, so I'm only seeing 3 records now. And the difference is obviously there's less accounts in the report, less records displayed, and there's also an indicator of what the filter is. It says accounts.description includes wages. That's right under the name of the report. So that's one type of filter, and that's the one that we're going to be focusing on, the window that came up there, the this one here, the report filters. Now we have other reports, such as, for example, this one here, the account inquiries. This is what we call a form report because it has its own screen. And in this screen there are options so that you can choose. For example, you can choose the account, you can browse and select an account, you can use the first, next, previous and last buttons, or you can put in a date range as well, from this date to that date for which you want the entries to be displayed. Now I'm just going to hit display. I'm going to just hit first and watch what happens there. I've not picked a filter. This is just a from and a to, and it's taking a bit of a while because what it's doing is it's displaying all of the entries for that particular account. Now there you go, up they come. Now normally when you are searching for records or looking for something, or you wish to print information, you're looking for maybe a particular date, a particular month, a particular period, a particular employee, a particular account, a particular category. You're zeroing in on specific information which you need. Hardly do you ever need all the records that are stored in the database, and those records can be quite a lot because we've been in business now for 27 years. Some of our customers have been there with us from inception, and their databases have quite a large number of records. Even some of the customers who joined us more recently, maybe we've had a number of new customers who may have come on in the past 5-6 years or so, but they may have a large number of employees in their payroll, for example. They may have 500, 600, 900, 1,000 employees or more. So though they may not have as far back a history as some other customers, they may still have a large volume of records due to a large number of employees on their staff. So the purpose of the filter, whether it's in a form report like this or in a list report like the accounts, which we saw before, is to select a range of information that you want. This list here displays information from the 2nd of January 2019 down to the 14th of May 2021. Now, if I wanted to filter this form report, I would come here and let's say I only want it from the 1st to the 15th of May, and then I can hit display, and it's much quicker. It loads much faster than when it's trying to load all the records. Plus which, that's exactly what I want. I only need to see those particular records. Those are the ones that I want to focus on, to zero in on. And each of the form reports, they come in different shapes and sizes. They have different options. Some of them will have a date range from and to. Some of them you pick a year. Some of them you pick a month. Some of them you pick a batch number. Some of them you pick a particular employee or any type of record, any specific record that you are looking for. That's what those reports are designed for. So I'm going to close this now. This is just to give you an understanding of what some of the form reports look like, the concept behind how they work. But we are focusing on the list reports, such as the accounts, where I entered that filter just now, and others in this list. Now, as I mentioned before, if there's an NA in this list, it means that either it's a form report, and form reports do not allow filtering from the filter column, or it may be a type of report. Let me jump to E. There are some employee reports. Oh, they actually don't allow sorting as opposed to filtering. But there are some reports which will not, like this one here, employees with no gross pay. This is probably a form report. Yes, it is. It's a form report. I hit the display there. There's no records, and I can close that one. So there may be some list reports which may not have a filter option, but they'll be very few and far between. You're most likely to find some list reports that don't have a sort option, where the N is over there. Like for example, if I come down here and we go to the employees, right, employee style C. Let's have a look here. There's an employee style A, B, C, and D. Right away down to M, I think it is. Right, there they go, down to M at present. Now, all of these allow you to filter, but not all of them allow you to sort. The style C has no sort option. The style D has no sort option, and that's because these are list reports which are grouped in a particular manner. So they have to follow that group, and that's how they were designed. But you can still filter them. Now, for the employee reports, the default in PayPak Professional is we select active employees only. We have a field called stop payment. Maybe someday we will change that to say active instead of stop payment, but for now that's what it is. It says stop payment, And when the stop payment is N, that indicates an active employee. When the stop payment is Y, that indicates an inactive employee. So we're going to print, we're going to look at the settings for the employees style A. Now it's the filter defaults, as I said, as soon as the screen comes up, it defaults to employees on stop payment. You can come in here and add more options. We're going to be looking through this screen to explain how it works in greater detail than you would have seen in the other video, the reports video. So let's start by giving you a little tour of the sections of the screen. At the top here, you have the filter conditions. For the employees, there's a default filter condition of stop payment is N, which means that you're picking active employees. This can be turned off, it can be removed, you can delete it, you can change it if you want. Let me just print the report. I'm just going to close this. We're going to print the employee style A, double click and preview it so that you get an idea of how it works. So the filter comes at the top. You've got the records listed here, and there are 40 records. These are employees who are active. To remove the active, if for some reason I wanted not to see the active employees, I click on this row, press the delete key on the keyboard, say yes when prompted there, and then I click apply. Not save, apply. There's a rule, a basic rule here. Anytime you change something at the top, you click the apply button. Anytime you change something at the bottom, here, 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 or here, you click the save button first and then you click apply. So let's apply that, and it clears out the filter. You'll notice now that there's no employees stop payment is N, as in the case with the other reports. And if I print the report now, we will see some employees who have left. So they're under date finish. You'll see these ones here who ended employment on the 31st of March 2020. And there are now 50 employees in the list as opposed to the 40 which you saw before. So there's no filtering on this report at present. This is all the records. Now, if you look at that report again, you'll notice that there's some employees from the department is Wotton for some and Oistins for others. If I only wanted to see Wotton, I could double click here. I come to departments. I choose a description and I say I can click here and I choose Wotton Terrace and I save that because I've changed something at the bottom now. So I save that, apply it. Now I double click, preview, and there now I only have 22 employees as opposed to the 50 you saw before. 20 active employees plus 2 were no longer employed. And the filter condition shows at the top of the report here. Now let's go back and have a look at some other options, the other sections of the window here. At the top, as I said, you've got the filter conditions. Underneath it, you have a list of the tables from the database which generate the information for this report. This is a report about employees, but it also, you can group it or sort it by category or department. These are related tables. If I highlight the employees, the other list shows me all of the fields that are available to filter the employees by. So I can choose, let's say there's one for gender. There's one for gender here. And I can say, if I click here, I will get male and female. If I click the females and I save that, my filter condition has now changed that the gender includes female. If I apply it, preview it, these are now the females, but these are the females from both Wharton and Oistins, because that change I made just now replaced the previous filter condition. Now, if I want to see both the females and Wharton workers combined, I want to see the females who work at Wharton, I then need to add two filter conditions. So what I would do is, we've already got the female part here, so you click on the bottom row. See, and that will add a new filter condition for you. So we've already got gender includes female, and I can now come, once I've highlighted the bottom row, I choose departments, and I can just click here again, and up comes Wharton and Oistins. I tick Wharton. Because I've changed things at the bottom, again, I save first, then I apply. That's the rule. When you're at the bottom, save first, then apply. If you're at the top, just apply. So we've saved it, we apply, and now I preview it, and we've got 15 employees. These are the female employees who are at the Wharton department. Now I can also filter, there's a date started there, and let's have a look at that. Let's clear out these filters. Click, delete on the keyboard, say yes. Highlight the row, delete on the keyboard, say yes. And apply. So the filter is cleared out. I want to look at this report and see what the date started says. Now you've got some employees here, Kerry Bryan and David Bryan, who started in 2014. You've got some who started in 2019, some in January, some in August, some in December. So let's say we wanted all the employees who, are there any from 2020 in here? Let's look. Yes, there's one from 2020 at John Hill. Let's say we wanted all the employees who started between June of the 1st of June 2019 to the 31st of December 2019. So we close this and we go to our filter again, and we're looking for the date started. So we have employees. Date started is here because all the fields for the employees are listed in alphabetical order. So I go to date started, and there's an is, there is a is between. So when I choose is between, I now have two options to choose from. And these two options will give me the dates I want to enter. Now I can enter my values freehand, so to speak, by coming here. I can choose the calendar, and I'm going to June, 1st of June 2019. Actually, why 2019, not 2020? 2019 to, here we go, the 31st of December 2019. So those are my two dates. I click on save, I click on apply, and when I preview, there you go. You've got these employees who started, the very first one's from August 2019 and the last one's on the 1st of December. The last ones are on the 1st of December 2019. Actually, there's a whole slew of them who came on. There's an August one in there. So that's an example of filtering the report by date and selecting records by date. Now let's look at these columns in a little bit more detail. Choose a table. It displays the fields in that table that you can choose from. Employees has plenty of fields to choose from. Choose the category. You've got 3 fields. Choose the department. They have the same 3 fields as the categories. They have an ID, a description, and a group. And again, it's listed alphabetically. Now, as I click on the fields, you may notice that this filter options, that list of filter options changes. Why does it change? This is why it changes. When you're on description or ID, the list is the same. That's because the description and the ID are text fields. These are alphanumeric. You type information in, like names, addresses, stuff like that. It's alphanumeric. Letters, combination of letters and numbers. However, the group is a numeric field. So the filter options change according to the type of field that you're working with. If we go back to the employees, and because the 3 main fields are text, numbers, and dates. For the employees, something like the email address is text, the employee number is text, last name is text. A number will be something like the gross. I think that's the only number in the employee section. And you have dates. Date finished, date of birth, date started. Okay? And you've also got, I think, last vacation finished and last vacation started. So if you have someone who, let's see, does this report prints the date finished and date started. So if you wanted, as we did just now, we used the date started. We could have chosen these options. These options change if it's a date. You'll see certain things in here that you don't see if it's a text or if it's a number. For example, is in the month, is in the year, month to date, and year to date. So if I say is in the month of, and this is the date that they started, and I've got 1st of June 2019, I can save that, apply it, and when I preview the report, there are no employees who started on the 1st of June. I know there were some who started, let's say, I know there's some who started in, well, this is the dates here, 1st of December. Now, I could choose the 1st of December from the list here. I could also put 31st December 2019. It doesn't have to be the exact date because I'm not using is. If I'd chosen is, it wouldn't select that date. I'm saying is in the month of. So you put a full date in here, set to is in the month of, save your option, apply, and you preview. There you go. These are all the employees who started in the month of December 2019. They all started on the 1st. I could say that the date is between, and that can also give me I can also put a date range in there too as well. Now let's look at the options for, first of all, a text field such as the first name. Let's go with the address. Okay, so if the address includes, now I think there's some reports that actually show the address. This one does not. Okay, no big problem. We'll still go with it. Address includes, and if I click here, I will see the list of addresses. Some of them have King Garden, there's Dover Gardens, there's King's Village, there's Savannah Road, there's a terrace. we've got a couple that say terrace. Let's try terrace. If I put the word terrace in, save it, apply it, and I preview it, these are the employees who live in a terrace. And that's the address, nothing to do with the department Wotton Terrace. That's the address. Now, if I had a report that prints the addresses, we could have proven that back very easily. Let's see if there's any. I don't think there are any that may have the address in that manner. I think there's a report called employee. Yes, there's one. Employee addresses. Good. So let's come here, and we want all the active employees whose address is Wotton Terrace. Sorry, is a terrace. So I click on the second row because I want active employees. I choose address 1. And it depends too on how the address is entered, because you could be living at apartment number 3. Moon Terrace, something of that sort, and the terrace could be in address 2. But let's go with address 1. Type in terrace, we hit save, and then we hit apply. I've got my 2 filter values in there. Double click on the report, preview it, and there you go. You've got 2 at Wanstead Terrace and 2 at Hopewell Terrace. This report seems to have the St. Thomas as the address for these employees. Let's have another look at what else is in there. We'll clear it out. Delete. Say yes. Apply. Double click. And preview. Good. Here you've got quite a number more. Most of them seem to have the parish in address number 2. No one's using address number 3, and you've got various different addresses, district areas in address 1. So if we wanted, for example, the employees who live in St. Thomas, looking at this list, most of the St. Thomas ones, they have a dot. You have to be very careful about this, because we've got St. Thomas with no space, just St. dot and Thomas. You've got St. Michael spelled a number of different ways, and that is a reality when you are filtering information. Often the users may type things in a variety of different manners. So for example, St. Michael, which I usually spell with a space after the St and the full stop, these 2 entries here have a space between the St and the Michael. These others, some of the others don't. Some of them are spelled capitalized. It wouldn't matter to the search. Now, if you wanted all the St. Michael ones, the safest thing to do is try not to be too exact. If you try to be too exact, you're going to miss records. You try to put in a partial part of the name. You may be searching for an employee by their name, and you can have someone who is a Michelle, and it could be M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E, or it could be M-E-S-H-E-L-L. There could be any number of variations. So to accommodate for that, what you do, we're going to come here, we're going to look for address 2, and instead of putting in St. Michael, I'm just going to put Michael. Okay? And as long as the Michael part of it is spelled correctly, I'm guaranteed to get back all of the addresses regardless of how the St. Michael is spelled. If I'd spelled it what I would term the correct way, you would not be seeing this one here that has a dot where the Michael is. Now, I'm fairly certain I saw some without a space. Was it spelled correctly? Let's go back here. I highlight this. Come here. Oh, it's only the capital one actually then. Okay, so that's my filter for a text field. Now, you can also have numbers. There is a gross, and this is for numbers. And what you see for numbers will be different from what you see for text because it's a bit more limited. Now, let's go through this list and explain some of the differences. Let's start with the text. For the text, you've got includes, which means that what you're looking for includes that value. So it can be part of it. Starts with, so if I put Christ, save it, apply. If there's anyone from Christ Church, they'll appear in the list, and we don't have any such employees. Oh, sorry, that's the last name. I wanted the... How did that get there? I wanted the address to. Okay, save, apply, and preview. There you go. We've got some from Christ Church, 8 employees in total, because the address to begins in it includes Christ. I could also say that the address, let's come back here, employees, this is the one we want to highlight. The address to, this is includes, which means it contains it somewhere. Starts with means it begins with it. So includes, if I put church, again I get all the Christ Church ones. If I say Saint full stop, save, apply, I've now got all the parishes that begin with Saint. Now, we've got some roads, and some of these include the word road, these addresses in here. So if we want to go for address 1, I could come here, change this to address 1, and I say it includes road. Save it, apply, preview, and these are all the ones which have the word road in address 1. Here, 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 and there. Now, if I want the ones that do not include road, I could come here and say does not include. I save it, apply, preview, and these are the ones where the address does not, address 1 does not contain the word road. There is a starts with. So if I type in, hold on, if I come here, I keep forgetting, I have to go to the address 1. If I say starts with and I want 1 or W, let's say W, save, apply, double click, we've got Wanstead Terrace. There's an is, which is an exact match. Exact match is when you're sure that that value is in your database. So in a case like that, it would have to be exactly what one of these things are in this list. Is more than would give you anything. Say I wanted all the addresses that are the letter higher than letter P. So I could put letter P in there. Well, actually, I might just put let's put PZ. and I would save it, apply, double click, because Z is the last letter of the alphabet, and P. So anything after P, there's Savannah, there's Recency, there's Victoria, Savannah Road again, and Wanstead Terrace and Savannah Road. Okay. I can also say is between. Sorry, well, is less than. So if I save, apply, double click, and preview, anywhere the address is before the letter P, or up to, well, includes the letter P, would be in here from A to P. I can also say the address is between. And when you choose the is between for text fields, you get two options here. I can type the values in, or I can click on the dots and choose the two ranges. So I want everywhere where it's like the E addresses down to the K's. And once I've chosen those two values, having chosen two values, the window automatically closes. I save, apply, preview, and there are my addresses which fall between these two addresses, Edge Hill Road and Kings Village. You won't find anything in the alphabet after the K, well, after Kings Village, or anything before Edge Hill Road. Okay, now, you notice just now that when I chose the option for is between, it automatically selected the two values. Now, there's some filter options which take one value, such as the includes, the starts with, the is more than, is less than. Others take two values, such as is between. Some can take more than one, such as is in the group. Does not include takes one. Does not start with takes one. Is not takes one. Is not more than takes one. Is not less than takes one. Is not between takes two, because I could print that one now. I can save that, apply it, and this gives me the ones which are not between that range I picked just now. So now I will get addresses which, for example, start with letters after K. It'll actually be easier if I sorted this report by address 1. So I'm going to put address 1 in there. I'm going to apply that, and when we preview it, you get a listing of the addresses, but something doesn't look quite right here, because that says address 1 ascending. I've got an O here. I'll have to look into this report. I think this needs to be fixed, to be updated. Okay, anyway, we've now got the records which are outside of the range from Edge Hill Road to Kings Village. Anything in here, the letters will be before, from A to Edge Hill, up to Edge Hill Road, and then from anything after Kings Village up to anything beginning with a Z, the letter Z. Okay, so let's close this one, and we come back again to the filter. If I want to pick an existing report, remember I was typing things in before. So if I go to the address 1 and I say it includes, I click here. This has an option where you can pick the records, and it only allows you for one record. So if I have 2 ticked right now, I'm just going to exit here. Okay, it says 1 entry must be selected. So I'm going to clear this filter out to show you how that works for the one condition. So we go back and we choose address 1, and there's an includes. I click on it and there's a list of the records. If I click Featherbed Lane, automatically it closes. The reason it closes is the includes, the starts with, the is more than, is less than, and those ones, and the down at the bottom, does not include, does not start with, etc., right down to is not less than, they use one parameter. So as long as you've chosen one, they automatically close. So if I were to come here and tick this one on and then turn this one off, it uses King's Village. If I were to click here, King's Village is ticked. If I tick Hopewell Terrace and Holy Innocents, I tick, as long as more than one is ticked, the window will not close. So if I turn off these others, from the time only one record is selected in the list, that record is selected, in this case Holy Innocents, I can save it and apply my filter. Now I've got to change something there. I didn't want that King's Village one to remain in there, so I'm going to remove that and save and then apply. Good. Preview it, and I've got one person, Rebecca Tillman. The address is King's Village. I did not save that just now. I wanted Holy Innocents. Let's come here. I forgot my rule. Holy Innocents. Off of this one. On with Holy Innocents. Save it. Remember the rule. Save at the bottom, then apply. So now in here, I've got Holy Innocents, and if I preview it, there you go. We have two employees from Holy Innocents, which is Ricardo Gill and Timothy Kavanaugh. Closing the report. We have, as I said before, the is between, which brings up two values. You enter two parameters for the filter for is between. Is in the group is a little different. If you choose is in the group, click the dots. Oops, wrong filter. This is the one I want. So I want to say is in the group, and when I do that, I can choose as many of these as I wish. I can choose one of them, two of them, three of them. It does not close automatically because it's letting me choose just the ones I want on the report. So I'm going to choose those ones there. I'll apply. They're listed here. I save and then I apply. Always remember that. Save and then apply. And I'm going to preview my report. And these are the employees who are from those particular areas. And all other screens, the filters work exactly the same sort of way. So that's the includes, one option, starts with one option, is one, is more than is one, is less than is one, is between is two, is in the group. You have a number of different choices you can make. There's it does not include, does not start with, is not more than, is not less than, is not between, and is not in the group, which is the reverse of what we have there right now. So we've seen how to change or add or remove filter conditions. We've seen how to construct them here and use the filter options. We've been using the save and the apply. The undo button redoes any changes that you started to make after you open the window, and the exit button closes the window. So that's it for the report filter section of the report screen in PayPak Professional and other GreyNote software products. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I do encourage you to follow the other video that we have, the other videos that we have. We have other videos which specialize in the various sections of the printing. There's one for the sorting as well, which you can find useful. And there's one for hiding reports as well. We've also got some on the print manager and the email manager screens. There are two email manager screens in your software. So thank you very much for your time.